welcome back to today's video. That sounds so official. And yeah, so today I'm doing a fun video. It is like I will not be doing no editing at all. And so yeah, you'll get to see like some of the behind the scenes stuff that I do. Anyway, so to pass the time I was like, hey, let's do it with Storytime. Pass it with Storytime. So I'll be telling you a few stories that, yeah, would just be interesting. I was like, hey, let's do it. So, story number 1. You've probably heard this before. Mentioned it once or twice in my previous video. Alright, so my family and I, bad English there, my family and I were out on a bike ride, and we were talking about what we wanted to be when we grew up, and there was like, oh, I want to be a police officer. And then Mum turned to me and said, Dahlia, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said to her this: when I grow up, I want to be a dog. Dog. How ridiculous. I was like 5, I think, and I was going on a bike ride and we were just talking about what everyone wanted to be when they were like grew up. And I was like, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a dog. A dog. That is just ridiculous. A dog. It's like, hey, what the heck? When I grow up, I wanted to be a dog. What kind of child was I? Like, really? A dog. Of all the things I could have been, I wanted to be a dog. A cute, fluffy dog. How could I have managed that? I was like, what the heck? Anyway, I was like, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a dog. And the reaction was the best. Out of all the things I got from Mum, a dog? From Ross, my brother, Ross, he said, a dog? Why would you want to be a dog? You cannot be a dog. And I said, when I grow up, I want to be a dog. Simple as that. That is story number 1. Story number 2. We were like out in town shopping, and we parked like in town. There's like this 3-story building, I think it is, or 4, and it has the ground floor, which has all the shops, and then it has the second floor, which has half shops and the rest is parking, and then the 3rd floor, and that's like the roof, and it has parking on the roof. And so to get down to the ground floor, you have an elevator or you can take the stairs. We decided to go on the elevator. So I was there with my 2 older brothers, my older sister and my mother. So I'm like, just let me tell you this, I'm like 7. And so I go and run, and we always used to, like, I was probably about 8. No, 8. I was probably 5. I ran to the elevator, and you know how elevators have like the pushy button thing that you press to come up? Yep. So I was like, oh, let's press that, because I'm like, I'm going to be the first. So I press that button, and since I get there first before everyone else, when it opens, they're still not there. I go in, and by the time they get there, the doors start closing, and now it's just me, and I'm like 5, and so I'm completely terrified. I'm just like, wah! And so I try to press, you know how like the buttons that has arrows that they close the doors and can open them? I think the ones with the arrows pointing in, which mean like to each other, in, means that they all open, but it meant that they close. So I was pressing that button as fast as I could. That just made the doors close quicker. Now they close, I'm stuck in this elevator going to the ground floor while my family is up there, and remember, I am 5. So I am terrified. I like get down to the ground floor, I get off, and I just start crying. I'm just like, ah! I'm just crying. And then this kind lady comes up to me and asks whether I'm alright. I explain to her what happens, and I'm just like, ah, my family's all here, I'm all alone, and they're all up there. They're going to leave me. I'm all like upset and all that. And then she reaches into her bag that she has and hands me a piece of toffee. Then she said, they'll come back for you, and walks away. I just start eating the toffee. I'm like, oh, thank you, and start eating it. And I'm still crying. And the elevator opens. I turn around and there's my family. Now, I'll remind you, I'd been crying for about 5 minutes, waiting for them, at the bottom, terrified with all these strangers walking around. I was like, oh no, I'm all alone. And then, so that is story number 2. My third story. This would probably put some people in stitches from laughing. But this is my third and final story. So, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I can't remember how long ago, my mother, my older brother Jordan, my older brother Ross, and my older brother's sister, and my older sister Laura, all used to play multi-sports on a Thursday evening, so just lots of different sports, and I would go along and watch. Now after this, it was on this particular Thursday, and they had just finished playing multi-sports, and I was allowed to play. And because they were short on people, because they played with like a whole bunch of others, and like a team versus team, and it was really fun. I was allowed to play this time. So I was there in like my black tights and my nice, good running shoes. We were like, yeah! And we had decided earlier that we'd meet up with my dad and we'd go and have pizza at this nice, like, by the water. And so we finished multi-sports and we're driving to the pizza, like, driving to, like, the waterfront, and get there and meet up with Dad and all that, and we start eating our pizza and we have that. Now, we have 2 cars, because my dad had just finished work, and so he was coming from work and we had driven in the half-an-hour drive to get to town and to multi-sports, and we just drove from multi-sports to like the lakefront and met Dad there, like the riverfront, waterfront, that's the word I'm looking for, waterfront, and met Dad there. And so we just eat our pizza, and we walk back, and Dad has like this fairly newish car, and it was 2 years ago. Anyway, Dad has like this fairly newish car, and we have our good old faithful Tarago, and he has his Camry, and it's like all this silver, like this silver nice car. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go with Dad because I haven't seen him all day and I want to catch up with him and all that. And then Jordan and Ross also decide they're coming with Dad. So Mum and Laura leave in the Tarago, pull out of the parking lot, and just start driving because we're like, oh yeah, we'll just take 2 cars and we'll just go home now. And Dad tries to turn the car on and it doesn't work. We're sitting there in the car, Dad's trying to turn it on, it doesn't work. Now, there are other people around the place and all that, there's like others around the place. And then so we get out of the car and Dad like opens up the front and he's trying to work it, and then we go and ask some guys for a jump lead, and then they like they don't have one, so Dad can't like start the car at all. So we call like the car service, NRMA, and they're like coming along, and then when we realised that we couldn't start the car, I'm like, oh, I should go get Mum and Laura, so then we have a car that we can get home with. And so I'm like, oh, I should really go get them. And I will remind you that we had phones. We could have phoned them. Nah, I decided to run across this big grassy area to the main road to get Mum and Laura to stop the car. This is where it gets a bit stupid, here. So I jump up and I just bolt. Now I will remind you that I have been running before this, so I'm quite tired. But I bolt across the grass, and Mum and Laura by this time, so this is like 3 minutes, 5 minutes after, 3 minutes afterwards. They're driving along the road, and I just bolt. I bolt across this grass because the parking, like there was the parking lot here, like the waterfront there, and the parking lot, and then you had to go round to get back onto the main road, and there's like all this grassy area. So I bolt across that grassy area and run out onto the road. I'm screaming, "Stop! Mom!" at the top of my voice with this high, like it was back then, for me, it seemed like a lot of traffic going along that road. And I was just screaming, running. The car just drives straight past, just keeps on going. So I run out onto the road. Like there are cars behind the Tarago, but a little distance away. I run out onto the road and sprint. I just end up starting just screaming. And Mum and Laura think that they have run over a seagull. So they're sitting in the car driving along and they just hear this screaming. They think they have run over a bird. They pull over to make sure that they haven't. And they jump out of the car and I just sprint up to the car and just be like, I was just like, Dad's car isn't starting. I was so exhausted, my voice hurt from screaming at them for about 30 seconds straight while I had just sprinted as fast as I could to get to the car. I crashed into the back of the car once they pulled over because I was running so fast I didn't have time to slow down. And I just pour everything out in like under a minute. I'm just talking so fast, I'm just like, for like a minute straight, explaining everything. In the end, I just walked back over. Well, I could have jumped in the car with them, but I just walked back over to Dad and Ross and Jordan. I just walked back across that grass place where I just sprinted. Well, Laura and Mum got back in the car and drive back around. And that's when we try and jump start the car. And it fails and we end up calling the NRMA, and then they have to take Dad's car away to, I think it was the battery or something, I can't remember what it was. And in the end we all end up going back in the Tarago and get home safely, and Dad picks his car up the next day. Anyway, I have no idea how I got the energy, that sudden burst of energy. I could have collapsed if I was just running, because I'd just been running for over 45 minutes, not straight, but on and off, for probably about not quite an hour before I at multisports. So I was already tired. Then I had just eaten and sat down and cooled down again because I was so hot, because I think it was around this time of year. And then I just decided I'd sprint across this big grassy thing, and 11. 11 running across as fast as I could, chasing this car, running out onto a busy road, trying to stop the Tarago. Anyway, Dad's car is all fine now. I feel like I could tell another story. Anyway, that is story number 3. The third and final story. So, if you'd like to see more, watch more videos like this, anything like that, please let me know. And since I cannot edit this video at all, then yeah. Anyway, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and share and let all your friends know, because yeah. Yeah, that would be really cool. And I'll see you guys Friday. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, why did I do that? Anyway, see you guys. Hope you guys have a good week and see you on Friday. And let's see whether we can get one more new subscriber before then. If you can do that, there'll be a very special video on Friday. Very, very special indeed. Okay. Bye!